How you going, everyone out there? Build 7 on its way. What we're gonna attack next, if you watched Build 6, battery box, we'll do that earth bolt in the tank. We will continue with me dash. I just make a little bit of a strap just off the cage, just mounts in the corner up to me bonnet and then goes around just for me dash. I'm going to make some type of pod for me gauges. I'm just going to put it on the right hand side of the windscreen bar, left passenger side of the windscreen bar. I did have it down in the center, in the middle of the right there in the center, but I had to look low to see them. The best thing would be to have them virtually straight in your steering wheel, that way you don't have to take your eyes away from it. But I think the steering wheel blocks a lot, so they need to be, as soon as we're all race car drivers, we don't really look at the gauges unless the car coughs or does something weird. That's the only time you ever really look at gauges. So I want them so I can see them straight away, so I'll just make a bit of a gauge pod to stick it out a little bit. Just want to change a couple of little things, and then it's time to start prepping to paint the body. Which prepping I usually paint the inside of the car first and the roof. Just makes it a lot easier when you mask it up. You can mask up everything and the roof, and that stops the overspray from getting on the roof from everything else. So yeah, let's do it. All the battery box mounts are good to go. Let's get it in. That'll do, donkey. Rightio, so battery box is in. We're going to go with that there, by the book, so by code. So I've just started on the dash for my gauges and my 2 lights. What I'm going to have to do is, you can see there, the roll cage bar sits out a bit further than the windscreen mesh. So the plan is, I'll give you a rundown on how I'm going to go about it. I've got a picture in my head, hopefully it comes together. So what I'm going to do, mind the dirty bench. It's going to come out 100, so you're pretty much going to be like this. It's a bit hard to see. It's pretty much going to be like that. Picture yourself over here in the seat. Just the gauge is on a bit of an angle, but what I've got to do, because that bottom bar is out more, I really need to make this one about 20 mil longer. Actually, it's got to go in, well, the top has to go in about 20 mil, so it'll be still right. I'll just make this one a bit bigger. That's, yeah, enough room for 2 gauges in there and a light either end, oil temperature light, and I also a fan light that tells me when my fans engage and don't engage, just the whole temperature thing. I've got a light to tell me when it comes on and off, and it's sort of a good thing too, because you never know if they're on. So yeah, we'll get that. Hopefully it works out. It's only very mild steel, so just a picture in my head. If it doesn't go any good, I'll just go back to the old style how I had, but I want to try and do this. So yeah, let's see what I can do. Righto, so this is where we're at. Put you down, I'll show you my theory to the madness. See me hands? Woo! Right, so what we're going to do is bottom. Obviously the bottom bar sticks out a bit more than the mesh, so I made this one a bit longer. So you're going to go something like that. Obviously gauge here, I'll put a light here, gauge and a light, oil light, oil gauge, temp, thermo fan, light. So that's my method. It's got to hold it together. Actually, what I think might have something here. Oh, don't want to do that because we might need them. I wonder if this will work. Something I prepared earlier. So if we go like that. Bottom one. Wonder if we can do that just to help me weld it together. That'll work. Look at that, something I prepared earlier. Should be fine. That'll work. Tuck it together and see how we go. These blocks were for my simulator. I needed to lift the TV up over my feet. Bottom might not have stuck, but let's. Look at that, guys. Alright, now I'll show you the next part. So what we come up with, that's what it'll be. Bit of an angle. Nice, simple. We had to shoot the wires and everything through the back. But that'll do. It'll be fine. Let's put a bit of a cover there so my dash will cover it all. All cleaned up nice. As I said, I'm just going to cut this section out just here for the gauges. The gauges will have to sit fairly high. There's not much room in there, so I've only got one sort of shot at cutting the gauges out. So if it doesn't work, I'll have to cut it all out and start again. And yeah, dash is in. Cool. dash cluster. Yeah, it will be a cluster when the gauges are in it. No, I'll solid mount that to the cage. Yeah, I'll find something else to do. Stay tuned. It's that easy. I forgot to press record doing this. There she is. As I said, I had to put the gauges a bit higher. The two dots either side, that'll be the oil pressure light, and fan light telling me that the fans are on. But that's as easy as that is. It works a treat for doing hole saws. Absolute treat. And it just fit in the vise, which is good. I had to go up to the top lip up there, but it'll do. It'll work a treat. Yeah, it's got to put a couple little holes in, and then this is pretty much a unit. So I will, that light there, I would not have a clue. I just know that it's always on. Don't know, I'm going to swap that light out and make it a bit more efficient, and that'll be now for the fans, because I did put in a different light on my dash. But that whole unit itself, it has its oil temperature switch and everything in there, which will have to go back in, and oil temperature switch, oil light, is everything is on the back of the gauge. But either that'll be absolutely a treat. Now time to go pick some kidlets up. Righto, so the final result. Telling you, there's method in my madness. Did we divot? You ready for the piece of resistance? I was just trying to get rid of a bit of a gap, and voila. So that's what we're going to come up with. We'll put him in there. It should be perfect. The gauges all fit. I've just been mucking around with that. Yeah, I don't have to cut. Remember how I mentioned I had to cut this bar out for the gauges to fit, because we've made a bit of a, a pod for them. Comes in fine. So that's all we are. It's a bit of an angle. I don't know if you can sort of see it, but it is a skew width of an angle going upwards, so it'll be fine. I'll just tack that in. Cost me nothing to make. 80% right here. We'll build our own stuff in the shed. There's no point in going to buy it when you can just build it. That'll be fine. And my dash will tie in perfect with it. It'll look really good. It's all you need. You don't need anything fancy, nothing big. All I can sort of recommend is try and put your gauges where you don't have to move your head. I can't put the gauges behind the steering wheel. You can't see them. I had them in the center of the car. Now this is a little bit off than the center of the car, but I couldn't see them because of the side of the steering wheel. I could never see my temperature one. So I'm just moving them. It should be fine. I know it's not in line, but hopefully they're better than what it is. So just trying to make the car look a lot cleaner, a lot neater. This all will allow me to not have my loom running down the center of the car. I'm going to, next we might pull my loom out and try and figure out some buttons. I might have to put the seat back in for that. I can't reach the dash, that's all. There is one spot where I can put it, but I'm just a bit mindful of water when you wash it and everything. I run a bit of plastic on the bottom of my mesh, so the water shouldn't get into it that much. I know everything's waterproof, all the switches and gauges and all that sort of stuff, but it's not a real good thing putting water on them. So I'll put this in now, tuck it in. I'm happy with it. It's come up good. Then that'll be it for me today. So we might hit the switches. I have to put my seat back in and go from there. Righto, see you in a day or two. We've got some new parts in. We got some fiberglass in. So you watched the last part. It's been a couple of days. We fit the battery box. You would have watched it all. So we've got some doors in. Just going to pop that tail light out. They do need a bit of work from when we get them from Mr. Scotty Whittle. They will pretty much stay there. It's always good to have a little bit long to go on the doors. Just this top section here, this lip, we'll pretty much have to cut out. And I like leaving this here too. If the boot allows it to stay in, this little lip, we'll leave that in as well. Just gives us, I like it. So push her outside so the car can absorb some sunlight. We'll sit some doors on. Found it. To do is I'm just going to brake. Howdy, with a bit of hard work and dedication. It's on, a bit bright. So to do, I might take a little bit out of that. You can obviously see it's bent up a touch. I'd take a bit of a corner out there, which is on. We'll take this boot. I'll have to just trim that up a little bit and go from there. But what we'll attack now, instead of turning the camera off, it was just too hard to roll around up and down. You would have got a bit bored. So we might cut that top bit off there and then see if the boot, we might actually even cut, what we'll do is we'll cut this strip off here, cut him all off. And we'll go in and we'll go down on an angle and see if that's going to do what we need it to do. Looky, so I might, not much I can do, can't go in anymore. We might cut this whole lip off. I would like to mount this to the bumper, just so it doesn't get ripped out. And obviously make sure that we can cover up as many holes as we can. That's pretty much it, guys. I might get enthused a bit more, jump in. Had to put my seat back in to make sure the dash is going to be good where the gauges are. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. And the next thing is to make a little bracket, which is just going to be a bit of flat bar, so I can put some screws through it for my switch panel for the wiring. But that's it for now. Howdy. Just practicing, sitting in the seat. See you, Shane. Bye. Nah, just fitting out some gauges. Let's wait for that. There we go. So that's sort of my eyes here. So it'll be absolutely perfect for the 2 gauges. The issue, well, I don't think it's going to be an issue, but this is the ignition light. Sorry about the flashing lights up there. Not flashing, it just looks like it. This light will light up because it's the ignition, and this light here was going to be my fan pulse, so when my fans turn on, the light comes on. I just don't know if they're going to be too confusing together, so I thought maybe I'd take it away a bit. This light hopefully never ever comes on. That's the red light, stop light for the oil pressure. So I'm thinking either, but I reckon the better idea would be to put temperature in this side and me light for the fan on this side. I like to have a fan light. It just allows me to know if the fan's on or off. But that's where I'll go. I can reach them fairly good. Like I do have to move my shoulder forward a little bit. I'm just going to change this. No, wrong way. Let's go that way. There we go. Get away from it a bit. But yeah, originally I had the switches here. You can see the loom here on how thick it is. This is my loom that I use. It's everything. And I had to run it up here, and I was always worried about the passenger's knee or getting in through the door and pulling the wires out from the side of the box. So, and I want to clean the car up. That's I want to make a pretty smick looking Commodore. So if I put the switches here out of the way, all the wires are out of the way. They'll be tucked up under the dash. They're all covered in here to the dash. We all covered along here as well. It'll be all hidden. The only thing you'll see is fuel pump wire, battery wire, and the fuel line running through the body. So just want to clean up a few things. And as I said, like, I don't know if I mentioned, but once you're sitting here and you're looking out the car, if you notice here, my gauges used to sit down here. That's where they used to be. And it's very hard, like I've only got to move the camera like that, to see the gauges. So I reckon right there is a lot better place to see the gauges. The other biggest thing is people can have them in the center, which that's where 99% of the people. But once your wheel's like that, you're in the same boat. You can't see the gauges, so they're going to be over there out of the way. But that's what we've been working on, is that. And I just had to get in. It's fairly easy. This is to hold the mesh on, so I'm just going to get a bit of 50mm from joint from here to here, and I'll just countersink that, countersunk bolts or something. Just put a bolt through it. That's all it needs to hold that on. Yeah. So covering a bit. As I said, just daydreaming, whipping everyone right now. Losers. But that's all it is. Yeah, it's Sunday. We're getting ready for paint. I reckon I'll have the paint. It'll be in paint by next week for sure. There's not much more to do to it. I'm just going to give this a real good going over. There's a few imperfections in the cage, you would say, but when I got this cage, it had aluminium door plates on it. I assumed that you could run aluminium door plates because every other class you can run aluminium door plates. You can run aluminium roof plates, just not door plates, which they're called anti-spear plates. So I had the cage all painted in 2-pack and got told they needed to be removed because they weren't safe. But the roof plate is safe if you go aluminium. So yeah, remove them, and by then I was a bit pissy, so I only spray painted them in pressure pack can. So I'm just going to clean them up and give the cage a bit of a rub down. I keep putting my hand there. But that's it. I think this will probably do. Just the battery box. Feather the doors. The doors are on. Quarters are on. As I said, I ran through the quarter panel, the theory on why I run and why quite a few other people do. It just hides a lot. Just hides a lot of the dents you would get. Like, I've raced races and didn't even realise, come home to wash the back of the car out, and notice the back of the boot is stoved in, like one of the quarters is stoved in, but the fiberglass just hides it. It's clean. You don't see any of that. It hides a lot of imperfections in it. Yeah, so that's it. I'll put this up. Should be hopefully a short but sweet one. Thanks for all the new subscribers this week. It's been good. Comments, a couple of little weird ones happening. I don't know if you're reading it, but thank you kindly. Don't forget to share and subscribe. And if you haven't, press the button to subscribe if you like what you see. It's just family, 2-car team, living the dream, racing. It's probably not the most expensive class out there, but it's up there. But it's expensive for us because we want to. The name of the game is to win. That's what it is for us. It is for me. I wouldn't spend all this money if I didn't want to go out and win. But yeah, if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Let's try and get them going. Share it as much as you want. Any info I can give you, just let me know, or just ask, or as I said, shoot over to Stuart's Racing and Fabrication. Shoot me a message. I'll help you out. I've helped a few people out already, and I love it. I will continue to help as many as I can. Yeah, that's me signing out. Enjoy, and see us when we're getting ready for paint. You don't need to see me sanding stuff down. It's just a sander. I don't go drastic. But yeah. Righto guys, see you in the next one. Love yous. Bye.